morning, one and all. I am going to present about the political institution. Political institutions are ancient and universal. Political institutions are all about distribution of power and authority. In order to understand political institutions, we need to understand the concept of power and authority. No one can hold power all by himself or herself. It has to be in relation to others. So some hold powers than others. The notion of the power exists in all societies, in primitive as well as in modern society. It exists all around us in the family. The elders gives us instructions to the young ones. Educational institutions, the principal enforces discipline. If you talk about private jobs, the employers assign duties to the employees and the leader of the political party decides who will get and who will run the government and so on. And if you talk about the power and authority, the meaning of power is in the modern societies, we can say that only he can fulfill his aim that has authority or power in his hands. In an ordinary language, power is used as a strength, or sometimes an authority or influence. Each individual tries to influence the other to his way of thinking, and for this purpose he uses power. If you talk about the factors of power, there are several factors which determine the nature of power individually or in combination. These factors have sociological significance. Some of these factors are social position, prestige, fame, physical and material powers, and educational knowledge, ability, and excellence. Next, the nature of authority. Authority is associated with the man from the beginning. Authority is an exercise of influence which is voluntarily accepted by the persons or whom it is exercised. So the authority is a legitimate power. The use of force by the head of the state in modern societies is an authority. Thus, authority is a socially recognized influence. Any institution, organization, or community of the world is incomplete without authority. There are two main nature of authority. The first one is formal authority principle. According to this principle, authority flows from top to bottom. The top officials gave orders to their subordinates. This is called bureaucratic rule. And according to this principle, the right to command, the inquiry authority is in written form. Central government issues orders to the governments and they have district administration which gives orders officials to duty. And next one is charismatic authority. It's a unique one that depends on ability of leader to inspire the devotion to his followers. According to this principle, the success of authority depends on the acceptance of the subordinates. When the subordinates accept the orders according to their capability and understanding, it becomes a willing situation. If we talk about the differences between the power and authority, according to Max Weber, he makes a distinction between power and authority. When a person exercises his influence over the other person, or irrespective of the will of the latter, this influence is called power. On the contrary, authority is an exercise of influence which is voluntarily accepted by the persons or whom it is exercised. So the authority is a legitimate power. The use of force by a despot or tyrant may be power, whereas the head of the state in modern societies is an authority. So authority is an recognized influence. Next, the state. So state does not refer to province or region. It's commonly used in speech. So state refers to the political association responsible for the peace, protection and order for the whole community. Some thinkers have accepted that the state is an institution on the basis of its all-pervading functions. So state is an association and its main functions are law and the right to administer through which it can maximum maintain the control in their territory. If we talk about the elements of state, first one is population. The first and foremost is a state of population. What should be the population of a state depends on its natural, sociological and economic conditions. And next, if you define territory, definite territory. So state has its definite territory on which it has claim. This does not mean that boundaries of state do not change, but whatever the boundaries, they are well defined. Next, government. A state has a government to carry out its functions. Without government, the state cannot give a practical form its powers nor keep population under control. So the government consists of three organs which perform political functions. They are the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. If we talk about legislature, it is an elected body of representatives who are endowed with authority to make laws in order to regulate society within the jurisdiction of a constitutional provisions. And next, if we talk about the executive, it's an organ of a government which executes the laws passed by the legislature. That is called executive. And if we talk about the judiciary, the welfare and security of the citizens depend on impartial administration of justice, which is done by judiciary. And next, political systems. Political system is a very comprehensive system. It includes all political activities and individuals' relation to state, government, law, constitution, administrative agency, judiciary, military, police, crime, punishment, etc. In other words, political system maintains an organization of all political activities, processes, institutions of man whose central aim is to maintain a balance in man's political affairs. Today in the world, mainly two forms of political systems existing. The first one is monarchy and another one is democracy. And if you talk about monarchy, it's a monarchy or kingdom system administration is run by one man army. Under this system, the authority of a family is traditionally transmitted from one generation to the other generation. There were many such monarchies or kingdoms in Asia, Africa and Europe in such and medieval periods. In a monarchy, the power is transferred traditionally and not by law. Nowadays, only in few countries we have monarchic government. Example, Saudi Arabia, Jordan and Malaysia. It can have complete control of monarchic governments. And next is democracy. At present, democracy is considered as an important system of socio-political rule, and it is the most popular and widely accepted form of government. So democracy means a system where people rule themselves through their elected representatives. There are two forms of democracy system in a modern society. The first one, pure or direct democracy. Second one, representative or indirect democracy. If you talk about the direct democracy, a system where people rule themselves and formulate rules and regulations is called direct democracy. This form of democracy existed in ancient India, Chinese, Greece and Rome. At present, the direct democracy is almost non-existent. Example, Switzerland. The representative form of or indirect form of democracy. At present, the system of indirect democracy is prevalent in most of the countries. It is the second important form of democracy system. In this system, the people themselves do not participate in the government, but they run the government through elected representatives. Therefore, this type of government is called the democratic representative or indirect democracy. The parliamentary or cabinet system. In this system, the actual power resides in parliament and cabinet system, which consist of elected representatives of people. For example, the parliament or cabinet of India. Presidential system. In this system, the whole power resides in the hand of nation or president, who is elected directly by the people. Example, President of America. If we talk about federal system, in this system, the administrative power is divided between center and states or units. For example, there are 28 states in India, and its administrative power have been divided into federation list and state list and concurrent list. If we talk about unitary system, it is an administrative system in which administrative power is concentrated in the center only. Here, different units and states have no separate powers, only the governing system of Britain. Example, the governing system of Britain.